You have likely seen the grainy photos, the blurry footage, and heard the chilling, distant howls that echo through campfire tales. But that is not the real story of Bigfoot. The true story is quieter, deeper, and far more bizarre. It is a story of a creature not of rage, but of profound intelligence and immense, lonely awareness. It's about a giant who has mastered the art of being a ghost, whose entire existence is a secret ritual of silence and evasion. Tonight, we are not hunting for a monster. We are stepping inside the mind of a master to feel the world as he does, and to finally understand his greatest secret, how he hides from the entire world in plain sight. Before we begin, take a deep breath and let the room grow quiet. If these soft journeys bring you peace, feel free to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments where you're listening from and what time it is there. It's always comforting to know who's resting alongside us tonight. Now, close your eyes and let the wilderness unfold. The first light of dawn has not yet reached the forest floor. The world is a deep, profound indigo, a shade of darkness that is more peaceful than black. You are nestled in a shallow depression between the immense, buttressed roots of a redwood, a space that would seem like a cave to any smaller creature, but to you is just a chair. You have not moved for many hours, your stillness a form of prayer to the quiet of the night. Waking, for you, is not the act of opening your eyes, but of consciousness returning to your physical form, a slow and silent tide rising within you. It is not a sudden event, but a gradual saturation. You feel it first in the deepest parts of yourself, a subtle shift from the shallow, listening sleep of a guardian to a state of deep, motionless awareness. You feel the immense weight of your own arms resting on your knees, the powerful, sleeping muscles of your legs connected intimately with the earth beneath them. You feel the slow, steady rhythm of your own powerful heart, a deep and quiet drum beating in the hollow of your chest. A beat so slow it seems to be in perfect time with the turning of the earth itself. You are not a visitor here. You are a feature of the landscape, as much a part of this world as the giant stones and the ancient trees. Your body has been so still for so long that the forest has accepted you as part of itself. A dry, brown leaf has fallen from the canopy far above and come to rest on your shoulder, and you can feel its delicate, papery weight. A small beetle, making its nightly journey, is slowly crawling up the thick fur on your forearm, and you can feel the tiny, tickling footsteps of its 6 legs. You do not move. To move would be to break the spell. This initial moment of waking is a quiet inventory of self, a confirmation that you are still here, still whole, still one with the deep, dark earth that cradles you. There is no thought, no planning, just the profound and simple feeling of being now. With your own consciousness established, you begin to expand. Your hearing is the first sense you cast outwards, a silent, invisible net that spreads for miles in every direction through the thick, damp air. It is not a passive listening. It is an active, focused seeking, a process of filtering through layers of sound to build a map of the world. First, you acknowledge the outer layer, the great ambient sounds that are the forest's constant hum. You hear the soft, sighing whisper of the wind as it moves through the highest needles of the redwood canopy, hundreds of feet above you. It is a sound more ancient than any language, an oceanic whoosh that speaks of the vastness of the world above the treetops. You hear the gentle, rhythmic drip of dew accumulated through the night, falling from a broad fern frond onto a mossy log below, a slow, patient metronome marking the passage of pre-dawn time. Then you push your awareness deeper past these macro sounds to the middle layer, the layer of movement. Here, your hearing is so acute you can distinguish the light, careful footsteps of a doe leading her fawn through a nearby thicket. You hear the soft crunch of their hooves on the carpet of fallen needles, the gentle snap of a twig, the soft puff of their breath in the cool air. Further away, you can hear the heavier, more lumbering tread of a black bear, its weight causing a soft but distinct thud on the forest floor as it patrols the far side of the valley. Each creature has a unique sonic signature, a weight and rhythm to its movement that you recognize as intimately as you know your own. Finally, you listen to the deepest, most secret layer of sound, the sounds that no other creature pauses to notice. Here, in the profound quiet, you can discern the frantic, tiny, fluttering heartbeat of a field mouse nestled in its warm, dry burrow 50 yards away, a tiny, warm spark in the cool silence. You can hear the faint, almost inaudible chewing of a grub inside a rotting log, a sound of slow, persistent consumption. You can hear the slither of a salamander over a wet rock by the creek's edge. This is the sound of the world's hidden life. Your hearing is a form of deep meditation, a way of understanding the precise state of the forest before you risk becoming a part of it. With the map of sound established in your mind, a map of life and movement, you turn to your next sense. You take a single, long, slow breath, a conscious act that lasts for nearly a full minute. It is a ritual. The cool, pre-dawn air enters your large nostrils, and you draw it in. Slowly, deliberately, not just into your lungs, but into the deepest parts of your consciousness. You hold it, and you begin to unravel its stories. The air is not a single entity. It is a library of information, a rich and layered tapestry of sense, each thread telling a different tale. First, you process the bass notes, the ancient, unchanging perfumes of your home. There is the deep, rich, loamy scent of the redwood soil itself, a smell of life and profound decay held in a perfect 1,000-year balance. It smells of minerals and wet earth, of time itself. There is the sharp, clean, almost citrus-like scent of crushed pine and cedar needles, a refreshing tang that speaks of the great trees that are your silent companions. And there is the damp, green, living perfume of the moss and ferns that cover every available surface, a scent of pure, unadulterated, chlorophyll-rich life. Then you focus on the more subtle, middle notes, the sense of opportunity and environment. You can detect the faint, sweet, and earthy aroma of a particular patch of chanterelle mushrooms growing on a fallen log across the clearing, a sign of good foraging later in the day. You can smell the sharp, coppery trace of the stream as it flows over iron-rich stones a half-mile away. You can even smell the cold, hard, clean scent of the granite cliff faces that line the valley, a scent of pure stone. Finally, you isolate the top notes, the transient scents that ride upon the breeze, the daily news of the forest. You detect the faint, musky passage of a fox that trotted by an hour ago, its trail still hanging faintly in the heavy air. You can smell the specific, dry, dusty scent of a sleeping owl in its roost high above. And most importantly, you can smell the weather. You detect the subtle, clean, metallic scent of ozone and the tanks of salt from a coming rainstorm, a storm that is still many miles away, still gathering its strength over the cold Pacific Ocean. You know it will arrive by late afternoon. This single breath has given you a story of the past, the present, and the future, a complete and detailed understanding of your world. Now, you activate your most unusual sense, the one for which humans have no name. It is the sense of touch, extended not through your skin, but through the ground beneath you, through the massive, sensitive pads of your feet, which have rested motionless on the earth all night. You feel the forest's subtle vibrations. This is not a vague feeling. It is a precise and detailed awareness, a second form of hearing that travels through solids instead of air. It is a form of reading the earth. You feel the ground as a living drumskin, and every movement upon it is a beat you can identify and place on your mental map. You feel the distinct, rhythmic thudding of a small herd of elk moving through a distant meadow, their collective weight and gait a familiar signature on the earth. The pressure waves in the soil are a different frequency from the sharper, more staccato vibrations of the doe and fawn you heard earlier. You can differentiate their movement from the heavier, more lumbering impact of the black bear you heard earlier. Its footsteps, a deeper, more resonant vibration in the bedrock of the valley. You can even feel the frantic, almost imperceptible, scratching of a mole in its tunnel many feet below the surface, a tiny tremor against the great stillness. This sense allows you to know things that your ears cannot hear and your nose cannot smell. It tells you about the composition of the earth beneath you, the solid, unyielding presence of a great stone, the soft, yielding dampness of a hidden spring, the hollow space of a decaying root system. You can even feel the deep, constant vibration of a waterfall miles away, a steady, low-frequency hum that acts as a baseline for all other sensations. You can feel the whisper of a giant tree root as it slowly, imperceptibly pushes its way through the soil, a movement that takes decades but is still known to you. You feel the immense, silent weight of the mountain itself, the deep, resonant stillness of the ancient stone that forms the bones of this land. This sense is what truly roots you to this place, making you not just an inhabitant of the forest, but an integral part of its very structure, a living, breathing, feeling extension of the wilderness itself. Finally, for a long moment, you remain perfectly still, a statue of fur and focus, a silent monument in the pre-dawn gloom. The final part of your morning ritual is to synthesize all of this information. The sonic map, the tapestry of scent, and the vibrational world now merge in your mind. They are no longer separate streams of data, but a single, unified, living consciousness. Your mind is no longer just your own. It is a quiet, intricate, breathing map of the world for miles in every direction. It is a silent storm of information, a room full of a million quiet conversations that you are privy to all at once. You hold the location of every large animal. You know the scent of every significant plant. You feel the texture of the earth, and you can predict the coming weather with absolute certainty. This is the bizarre nature of your reality. You are not just in the forest. You are the consciousness of the forest. Its awareness is your awareness. This complete and total sensory immersion is the first and most important part of your great secret. It is what allows a creature of your immense size and weight to remain a ghost, a whisper, a myth. It is the reason you have survived. It is also a profound and heavy peace, the quiet, lonely burden of knowing everything that stirs and breathes in your domain. There are no surprises for you, no simple wonders of discovery. Your awareness is your cage as much as it is your shield. The responsibility of this knowledge is immense. It is a constant, humming awareness that never truly sleeps, even when your body is at rest. It is the price of your solitude, the weight of your legend. Only now, with this perfect, living map fully formed in your mind, do you deem it safe to move. You allow your immense, intelligent, and ancient eyes to slowly, deliberately open, ready to take your first silent step into the day you already know so well. Your morning ritual is complete. The map of your domain is sharp and clear in your mind, a living tapestry of sound, scent, and sensation. You have decided on your path for the day. A slow, meandering journey toward the high ridge where a type of sweet root grows, a place the foraging bear will not reach until much later. You begin to move, and your movement is the embodiment of the secret you live by. It is a form of silent flowing. Your immense weight, which could shake the ground, is distributed with such impossible precision that you are lighter than a deer. You place each foot, heel to toe, consciously, deliberately, on patches of moss or soft earth that you know will not betray you with a sound. Your body remains low, your shoulders hunched, a moving shadow gliding between colossal trunks of ancient redwoods. The air parts around you and closes behind you, leaving no trace of your passage. This is your natural state, a ghost in your own home, a myth in the making. But then a new sensation enters your awareness. It is a sound, but it is not a sound that belongs. It is not the soft crunch of a deer's hoof on a dry leaf, nor the heavy snap of a branch under a bear's weight. This is a sound that is both sharp and rhythmic, a consistent crunch thump that cuts through the forest's natural hum. It is an alien rhythm, a mechanical beat that speaks of something that does not understand the music of this place. Your movement ceases instantly. You do not consciously decide to stop. Your body simply responds, melting into a state of absolute stillness. You become a statue of fur and patience, your head tilting slightly while you cast your hearing like a spear in the direction of the sound. It is still miles away, but to you it is as clear as if it were in the next clearing. It is the sound of a heavy-soled boot shod in hard, unyielding material, stepping on the earth without care. Soon after the sound, a new scent arrives, carried on the slow, cross-valley breeze. It is just as alien as the sound. It is not the scent of fur or musk or soil. It is a sharp, chemical odor, a sterile and aggressive smell that stings your sensitive nostrils. It is the scent of insect repellent. Woven within it is the faint, plastic-like smell of a nylon backpack and the dry, processed scent of a grain bar tucked away in a pocket. These are the smells of the other world, the human world, and they are as jarring to your senses as a scream in a library. Your entire being focuses on this intrusion. The rest of the forest, the deer, the bear, the birds, all fade into the background of your awareness. There is only this singular, unnatural presence moving steadily, predictably, closer to your domain. You melt backwards, not a retreat, but a repositioning, placing a thick, ancient redwood between you and the source of the disturbance. And there you wait, a patient, silent observer, ready to witness the source of this clumsy tear in the fabric of your world. Minutes pass, long minutes measured in the slow drift of fog and the shifting of light through the canopy. The unnatural sounds grow closer, the chemical scent becomes stronger. And then you see it. Through a dense screen of ferns, the creature appears. It is a human, a lone hiker. From your perspective, it is a collection of jarring, impossible elements that have no place here. The first and most shocking thing is the color. The hiker wears a jacket of a brilliant, artificial blue, a color so vibrant and pure, it seems to hum against the muted greens, browns, and grays of the forest. It is a visual scream. It is a color that says, I am here, I am separate, I do not belong to you, whose entire existence is a study in camouflage and blending in. This choice is deeply bizarre. It is a kind of voluntary blindness, an advertisement of presence that you cannot comprehend. Next, you observe its movement. The hiker's walk is a series of straight lines and sharp angles. Their arms swing back and forth with a mechanical rhythm. Their legs move with a steady, pounding gait that is efficient but entirely without grace. They are not flowing with the landscape. They are conquering it, cutting a straight path through its subtle curves and contours. You watch as the hiker steps directly on a patch of delicate, flowering moss you had taken care to step around earlier. You see them duck under a low-hanging branch that you would have incorporated into your own shadow. They are moving through the forest, but they are not with the forest. They are a separate entity, a foreign object imposing its will upon the world. Finally, you observe its gaze. This is perhaps the most bizarre detail of all. The hiker's eyes, you notice, are almost always pointed in one of two directions, straight ahead, down the narrow path, or down at their own feet. Watching their every step, they rarely, if ever, lift their gaze to the high canopy or scan the deep shadows between the trees or examine the textures of the bark beside them. Their field of vision is a narrow, forward-facing cone. They are surrounded by a world of infinite detail, of subtle signs and secret lives, yet they perceive almost none of it. From your perspective, with your all-encompassing sensory map, the hiker is functionally blind and deaf. They are walking through a library with their eyes closed and their ears covered, aware only of the single book they hold in their hands. They are surrounded by life, yet they walk in a bubble of profound solitude, completely unaware that the truest and most ancient guardian of this forest is watching their every clumsy, colorful, and unnatural move. The hiker continues along the path, which winds closer now to your position of silent observation. You are utterly still, your immense body pressed so tightly against the trunk of a giant redwood that your fur seems to merge with the texture of its ancient, grooved bark. Your color, a complex pattern of dark browns, grays, and blacks, is a perfect match for the deep shadows of the undergrowth. You have even slowed your breathing, your massive chest rising and falling over a period of many seconds, a movement so slow as to be imperceptible. The hiker stops. They are now no more than 50 feet from you, standing in a small, sun-dappled clearing on the trail. You watch as they shrug off their bright blue backpack, the sound of the synthetic fabric rustling loudly in the quiet air. They pull out a metal water bottle, and the screech of the lid unscrewing is a violent, metallic sound that makes the muscles in your jaw tighten. The hiker drinks, then leans against a tree, catching their breath. And then they do something that momentarily quickens the ancient, slow rhythm of your heart. They look up. They begin to scan the forest. It is not the focused, intelligent scan of a predator, but the lazy, appreciative gaze of a tourist. Their eyes move slowly across the landscape, taking in the grand scale of the trees, the beauty of the light. Their gaze sweeps past a thicket of ferns, over the mossy boulder you used for shelter last week, and then it passes directly over you. For a single, long, suspended moment, the hiker's eyes are looking precisely where you are. They are looking at your shoulder, at the side of your head, at the deep shadow that is your body, but they do not see you. To them, you are just a part of the greater shadow, an oddly shaped trunk, a patch of deep, unremarkable darkness. Their brain, unequipped to process what it is seeing, simply edits you out of reality. It sees what it expects to see: trees, shadows, and more trees. You do not flinch. You do not even blink. You have held the gaze of mountain lions from a greater distance and remained unseen. Your stillness is absolute, a practice honed over a lifetime of such near encounters. You feel no fear, no panic. You simply observe. You observe the placid, unfocused look in the hiker's eyes. You observe the way their mind discards your form as irrelevant information. To you, this is the ultimate proof of your secret. Hiding is not just about being behind something. It is about being so perfectly a part of your environment that you no longer register as a separate entity. The hiker, satisfied with their brief survey, takes another drink of water, screws the screeching lid back on their bottle, shoulders their pack, and continues down the trail, completely unaware that they have just looked directly at the myth they may have secretly hoped to find. You wait. You do not move until the hiker's unnatural sounds have completely faded, until their chemical scent is just a faint, lingering ghost on the breeze. You wait another 10 minutes after that, listening, smelling, feeling, ensuring that they are truly gone and that no other creature, drawn by their passage, has taken their place. Only when your sensory map tells you that the forest has returned to its normal, peaceful state do you allow your muscles to unlock. You detach yourself from the great tree and move with a liquid silence towards the spot where the hiker rested. This, too, is part of your bizarre routine: investigation. You must understand the things that enter your world. You approach the spot on the trail, your massive feet making no sound on the soft earth. Your attention is drawn to the ground. You see their footprint, a deep impression in a patch of damp soil. You lower your great head, your eyes examining it with intense, analytical curiosity. You study the hard, geometric pattern of the boot's sole, so different from the soft, flexible, living print of your own foot. You can see where the hard edge of the heel dug into the ground, a mark of inefficient, forceful movement. It is a dead shape, a stamp pressed into the world, unlike the print of a living creature, which speaks of muscle, tendon, and bone. You gently touch the edge of the print with one long finger, feeling the texture of the displaced earth as you scan the area. Your sharp eyes spot something else. Half hidden under a fern frond is a small, brightly colored piece of material. It is a wrapper from the hiker's granola bar. You lean down and pick it up. The texture is alien to you, a smooth, crinkly material that makes a strange, sharp sound. When you touch it, you bring it to your nose. The scent is overwhelming, a bizarre mixture of artificial sweetness, processed grains, and the faint, lingering scent of the human's hand. You do not understand what this object is. It has no life. It provides no nourishment. It offers no shelter. It is simply a thing, a piece of alien refuse. To you, who lives in a world where everything has a purpose, where every fallen leaf feeds the soil, this object is a profound mystery. It is a piece of true strangeness. With a sense of quiet duty, you use your long fingers to dig a small hole in the soft earth. You place the wrapper inside and gently cover it with soil and leaves, an act of cleaning your home, of restoring the natural order. You are not just a guardian of the forest. You are its patient, silent groundskeeper. Your investigation is complete. You retreat from the trail, melting back into the deep woods until you reach a high, rocky ridge that overlooks the path below. From here, your vantage point is immense. You can see the entire valley laid out before you. You scan the landscape, and you find them. The hiker. They are now just a tiny speck of bright blue, a single, out-of-place pixel moving slowly through a vast sea of green and brown. You watch as the speck continues on its predictable path, growing smaller and smaller, until it finally disappears around a bend in the valley. You continue to watch for a long time, your other senses tracking their fading presence. You hear the final, distant crunch of their boots, then nothing. You smell the last, faint wisp of their chemical scent, then only the clean smell of pine and damp earth. You feel the last faint vibration of their passing, and then only the deep, steady stillness of the mountain. They are gone. Your world is once again your own. You stand on the ridge as the afternoon sun filters through the canopy, and you reflect. It is a slow, deep, and wordless form of thought. You contemplate the strangeness of these creatures. They move so loudly, yet hear nothing. They look with their eyes, but do not see the world around them. Their passage is a trail of noise, strange smells, and discarded things. They seem so powerful, yet so fragile, so confident, yet so deeply unaware. You feel no anger towards them, no fear, only a profound and weary confusion, the feeling of an ancient, quiet being observing a young, loud, and inexplicable species. Your desire to remain hidden is not born of fear for yourself, but perhaps of a kind of pity for them. To be discovered by them would be to shatter their world, and to shatter your own peace. The secret of your existence is a kindness you bestow upon them, whether they know it or not. With the forest finally returned to its proper, harmonious state, you turn from the ridge. You melt back into the deep woods, a silent gray shadow disappearing into other shadows. Your own passage leaving no sound, no scent, no track, no trace at all. You are moving along a high ridge, the afternoon sun warming the thick fur on your shoulders. The coming rain you smelled at dawn is closer now, the air thick with the scent of ozone and damp earth. As you navigate a familiar game trail, a new scent carried on an unusual updraft from the valley below, reaches you. It is faint, a ghost of a smell, but it is instantly recognizable and profoundly alien. It is wood smoke, but it is not the clean green scent of a forest fire sparked by lightning. It is the dense, acrid, and food-laden smoke of a human campfire, still many miles distant. The scent is a key that unlocks a door deep within your mind, a door to a collection of memories, the lessons that have shaped you. You do not feel alarm, only a deep, contemplative stillness. You find a comfortable resting place, your back against the immense trunk of a sugar pine, and you allow the memories to surface. They are not frightening, but deeply strange, like half-remembered dreams of another world. These are the memories of your mistakes, the quiet, confusing encounters that taught you the art of being a ghost. Your mind drifts back. You are younger, larger than any other creature in the forest, but still lacking the profound wisdom you now possess. You are moving through a dense section of woods in late autumn. The ground is thick with dry, brittle leaves. You are moving with what you thought was stealth, but your youthful confidence made you careless. You placed your foot down on a large, fallen oak branch, a branch that a bear would have simply crushed with a loud crackle. But your immense, focused weight snapped it in two with a sound as sharp and loud as a rifle shot. The sound was wrong. It was a violent tear in the quiet fabric of the forest. You froze instantly. Below you, on a winding trail, you saw two small figures, humans. They also froze, their bodies rigid, their heads snapping up in your direction. You remember not feeling fear, but a deep and profound confusion. Why did such a small, ordinary sound cause such a dramatic reaction? A falling tree makes 1,000 times more noise, yet they would barely have noticed it. You focused your senses on them and smelled a new, sharp, acrid scent rising from their bodies. It was the scent of adrenaline, of sudden, heart-pounding fear. Their faces, pale and small, were turned up towards the shadows you occupied. Their eyes wide, you remained motionless for what felt like an eternity, watching as they began to whisper to each other in hushed, frantic tones, before slowly, deliberately, backing away down the trail, never once turning their backs to you. You did not understand their panic, their terror. You had made a sound, yes, but you were no threat. The memory is not of danger, but of a deep puzzle. It was your first true lesson that in the human world, sound is not just information. It is a trigger for an emotion you do not share. And so you learned the first rule of your secret life. Every sound you make, no matter how small, must be a natural one. Your footfalls must become the wind. Your movements must become the rain. The memory of the sound fades, replaced by another, this one from a high, misty ridge. Several summers ago, the fog, your trusted friend, had rolled in thick and white. You were moving along the spine of the mountain, feeling secure in the knowledge that the fog was your cloak. But you made a mistake of light and shadow. For a brief moment, you moved across a patch of pale granite rock that was not yet fully engulfed by the mist. The sun, high and white, broke through the fog for a single, fleeting second, and your dark, immense form was cast in perfect silhouette against the pale stone. You were exposed for no more than a heartbeat, but it was enough. Down below, a human who had been looking down at the ground looked up at that precise moment. You saw them stop. You saw them raise a strange, small, black box to their face. You remember the bizarre sensation of being watched not by living eyes, but by a single round glass eye. Then came a sound, a sharp, mechanical click, followed by a brief, impossibly bright flash of artificial light that seemed to pierce the fog itself. The light did not hurt you, and the sound was tiny, but both were so profoundly alien, so unnatural, that you instinctively recoiled back into the thicker fog. You remember the human's reaction. It was not fear this time. It was a kind of manic excitement, a series of loud, triumphant shouts directed at a companion. You lingered in the fog, listening to their excited chatter, trying to comprehend what had just happened. You had been seen, but the reaction was not flight. It was capture, not of your body, but of your image. This was your second lesson. Cover is not just about being behind something. It is about blending with the light and shadow around you. You are never truly hidden unless you are one with the texture of the world. A new memory surfaces, carried on the ghost of that campfire smoke, a memory from a warm summer evening. You had been following a creek, using the cool water to soothe your feet and mask your trail. This was a technique you were still perfecting. You waded for miles, confident in the water's power to wash away your presence. But you made a crucial error. You emerged from the creek on the wrong side, the side from which the night breeze was blowing. You were downwind of a small human campsite, nestled in a clearing near the water. Before you could react, your own powerful, musky, and uniquely wild scent was carried directly into their camp. You were still hidden in the deep shadows of the tree line, but your very essence had announced your presence. The reaction was immediate and chaotic. You heard the soft, relaxed murmur of their voices instantly cease, replaced by hushed, panicked whispers. You heard the frantic rustle of their synthetic sleeping bags. Then a beam of brilliant, white, artificial light sliced through the darkness, sweeping frantically from side to side. It was so different from the soft, silvery light of the moon. It was a nervous, searching, aggressive light. It swept past your position several times, the beam so bright that you had to close your eyes. You listened as they threw more wood on their fire, the sudden roar of the flames, a testament to their fear of the dark and of you. You retreated silently, your heart not pounding with fear, but with a deep, echoing confusion. You had done nothing, said nothing, shown nothing. You had only been, and your very being, your natural scent, was enough to cause such profound terror. This was your third, and perhaps most important lesson. The wind is a two-way street. While it brings you the story of the world, it also carries your own story away. You must always be mindful of which way it blows, for your scent is the one part of you that you can never truly hide. You rest against the warm bark of the pine tree, the present-day sun on your face, and you let these old memories fade like morning mist. They are not haunting. They are not traumatic. They are like old teaching stones, smooth and worn, that you turn over in your mind from time to time. They are the foundation of your mastery. These confusing, bizarre encounters with the human world are what taught you the three great rules that define your existence. The lesson of sound taught you to be quieter than a falling leaf. The lesson of sight taught you to be a shadow among shadows. And the lesson of scent taught you to be a creature of the wind. These are the pillars of your art, the bizarre routine that allows you to survive. You understand now that the human's reactions, their sharp fear, their manic excitement are not about you. You are merely a mirror in which they see their own feelings about the great, unknown wilderness. Their fear is not of your strength, but of their own fragility. Your secret life is not just for your own peace, but perhaps, in a strange way, for theirs as well. To be truly discovered would be to break the magic of their world, to replace a creature of myth with one of flesh and blood. And so you keep your secrets. You practice your art. The memories settle back into the deep, quiet parts of your mind, leaving behind only the wisdom they imparted. You take another long, slow breath, smelling the real world once more, the pine, the earth, the coming rain. The past is the past, the present is here, and you are safe because you have learned your lessons well. The day, which began with your slow, expanding consciousness, now begins to contract in the same deliberate way. The sun has fallen below the high western ridges, and the forest is bathed in a deep, purple twilight. The light does not simply vanish. It drains slowly from the world, pulling the vibrant greens and browns with it, leaving behind a landscape of soft, monochromatic shadows. Before you seek your rest for the night, you perform your final duty. From a high granite outcropping, you conduct one last, long-range sensory sweep of your territory. This is not the active mapping of the morning, but a quiet, passive listening, a confirmation that the day has settled into its proper, peaceful rhythm. The air has grown cool and still, holding the sense of the day close to the ground. You take a deep breath and can still taste the memory of the afternoon rain, a clean, earthy perfume that has washed the world. The sounds of the forest have changed. The busy chatter of daytime birds has been replaced by the first tentative notes of the night's symphony. You hear the chirping of crickets beginning their chorus, the soft, fluttering wing beats of a bat setting out from its roost, and from deep in the valley, the first mournful, questioning hoot of a great horned owl. You listen for the unnatural. You extend your senses, searching for the lingering chemical scent of the hiker, but it has long since been washed away by the rain. You feel the earth through your feet, searching for the jarring vibrations of human activity, but there is only the deep, resonant stillness of the mountain settling in for the night. The hiker is gone. The forest is once more your own. You feel the collective sigh of the wilderness as it relaxes into the darkness, and your own ancient mind relaxes with it. The world is safe. The world is quiet. It is time to disappear. You descend from the high ridge, your movements now cloaked in the deepening shadows. Your journey is not yet towards your resting place. There is one final task to perform, another small but crucial part of your bizarre, secret routine. You travel with silent purpose to a location you noted earlier in the day, a muddy bank by the side of a creek, a place where the rain-softened earth held the perfect, deep impression of your own massive foot. To any other creature, a single footprint is a meaningless, transient thing. To you, it is a word in a story you did not mean to write, a single piece of evidence that you exist. And your entire existence is an exercise in erasing such evidence. You arrive at the creek bank and look down at the print. It is a perfect specimen, a clear and undeniable testament to your size and weight. In the faint, silvery moonlight, you can see the detail of your toes, the shape of your heel. You feel no pride in it, only a quiet, professional need to correct the mistake. You do not simply kick dirt over it. That would be clumsy, another unnatural disturbance. Instead, you turn and select your tool. You break off a large, leafy frond from a giant sword fern growing nearby. Holding the stem in your long fingers, you now use the frond as a natural brush, a soft, green broom. With slow, deliberate, and rhythmic strokes, you begin to sweep the mud. The motion is gentle, meditative. Swoosh, dot dot dot, swoosh, dot dot dot, swoosh, dot dot. You are not just covering the print, you are retexturing the earth, carefully blending the disturbed mud until it once again matches the random, natural pattern of the surrounding bank. You feather the edges, brushing fallen leaves and pine needles back over the spot until it is utterly, completely unremarkable. When you are finished, the ground holds no story, no sign that anyone was ever there. You perform this act in any location where you may have left to clear a sign of your passage. It is the art of unwriting, of making the world forget you. It is the meticulous, patient work of a ghost ensuring its own mythology. With your trail erased, you now begin the final journey to your chosen resting place for the night. This journey is never direct. It is a winding, seemingly random path, a final act of misdirection and purification. To a human tracker, the path would make no sense. It doubles back on itself. It follows no logical contour of the land. But to you, it is a perfect and deliberate ritual, designed to break any trail, to confuse any scent, and to deliver you to your sanctuary as a pure and untraceable spirit of the forest. You begin by walking directly on stone wherever possible. You move across a wide, flat stretch of granite bedrock, your soft, leathery feet leaving no print, no trace, no story. The rock holds no scent and records no passage. From the rock, you step directly into the cold, clear waters of the creek you visited earlier. You do not cross it, you walk up it. For 100 yards, you wade against the current, the cool water, a soothing balm on your tired feet. The flowing water is your greatest ally in this final act. It pulls your scent from your body and washes it away downstream, molecule by molecule, until your trail is completely and utterly gone. After a time, you step out of the creek onto another large stone, again leaving no muddy print on the bank. From there, you move into a dense thicket of young fir trees. Here, you deliberately duck under the low-hanging branches, allowing their soft, needle-covered boughs to brush against your back and shoulders. The sticky, fragrant sap of the trees clings to your fur, masking your own natural scent with the powerful, dominant perfume of the forest itself. You are actively cloaking yourself in the scent of your home. Your final approach to your resting place is a slow, spiraling maze, a quiet dance of misdirection that ensures that whatever you are by day, you will be nothing but a myth by night. You arrive. The place is not a cave with a narrow entrance, not a fortress of stone. A cave is a destination, a feature on a map. It invites investigation. Your sanctuary is the opposite. It is a place of profound unremarkableness. It is a deep, moss-lined depression on the leeward side of a colossal, ancient boulder field, a place tumbled by glaciers in a forgotten age. The location is a masterpiece of strategic placement. It is shielded from the prevailing wind, yet it sits in a position where the natural air currents of the valley flow gently upwards towards you, bringing you a constant stream of information even as you rest. The entrance to the depression is guarded not by rock, but by a thick, dense curtain of hanging moss and ferns, a living, breathing wall that you can pass through without a sound, and which falls back into place behind you, leaving no sign of a door. The ground within is not bare earth, but a thick, springy bed of moss and compacted soil that has accumulated over centuries. A mattress softer and more silent than any made by human hands. You are surrounded on three sides by the immense, silent weight of the boulders, their cold, solid presence, a comforting reassurance of strength and permanence. Above you, the branches of a great pine tree spread out, a high, dark ceiling that breaks up the moonlight, dappling your resting place in a constantly shifting pattern of shadow and silver. This place is safe, not because it is a fortress that can be defended, but because it is a place that no one would ever think to look for. It does not stand out. It blends in. It is the ultimate expression of your secret, perfect safety, achieved not through strength, but through complete and total invisibility. You are hidden, once again, in plain sight. Asterisk, you stand in the center of your sanctuary for a long moment, your senses taking one final reading of the world. The forest is asleep. The wind is a soft whisper in the high canopy. The distant owl has found its prey. The world is in its proper, peaceful state. Now, you allow yourself to rest. You lower your immense body down into the mossy depression, the movement slow, controlled, almost silent. You curl into a comfortable position, your long limbs folding in, your great head resting on your arms. You do not fall asleep immediately. First, you perform one final, internal ritual. You consciously relax your body, part by part. You release the tension in the powerful muscles of your shoulders and back. You feel your large hands uncurl, your long fingers going limp. You let go of the day's immense sensory load, allowing the mental map of the forest to dissolve, to fade into a soft, blurry watercolor. You are no longer the guardian, no longer the observer. You are simply a creature, ready for rest. Your breathing, which you have controlled all day, is now allowed to find its own natural rhythm. It deepens, slows, syncing with the soft, sighing sound of the wind in the trees high above. Inhale, and the world is the cool, clean scent of moss and damp earth. Exhale, and you release the weight of your ancient loneliness. Inhale, and you are one with the stillness of the stone. Exhale, and you are one with the darkness. You are not just in your resting place. You are your resting place. You are the shadow, the silence, the stone. You close your ancient, intelligent eyes, and you do not fall asleep. You merge with it. You surrender to the deep, silent, and dreamless peace of the wilderness that is your only true and lasting home.